What's up everybody, Renfail here, back again for another Baldur's Gate 3 tutorial video, and today we're going to be diving into some of the camera controls, which, for better or for worse, are different than in many other games, and there is some getting used to required for Larian Studios projects, and Baldur's Gate 3 in particular. Now, thankfully you can remap buttons and sort of set things up as you want, but I did kind of want to go over some of the quick and easy details that you might not know about to kind of help you understand how to best organize your camera and deal with the way the camera works in this game, the POV around the characters, and tactical view, and so on and so forth. So we're going to dive into that here. If you haven't already done so, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you never miss an update. Of course, don't forget to check out all the other things we do here on the channel, because there's a lot more than just Baldur's Gate 3 happening. There's also Starfield and Fallout 4 and Star Wars and Star Trek and all sorts of book reviews and film reviews and TV shows and other games and Xbox Game Pass stuff. So check it all out. Join our Discord. Links are down below. Support if you can with memberships and beyond. Without further ado, let's dive into the camera. So right away, the camera pan is one of the things that most people want to know about how to deal with right away. For many games, it's holding down the right mouse button and dragging and panning around. But in Larian Studios games, it's the middle mouse button, which I absolutely cannot stand. So one of the first things I've done is rewired it to the right mouse click so I can quickly and easily do this. However, the right mouse button is also the context menu for characters. So sometimes that doesn't work perfect, because if you're right clicking on someone, then it'll confuse it and it won't necessarily want to pan the camera, because it's like going, wait, you're trying to interact with this person. So that's something to keep in mind. Obviously, you can turn mouse panning on in the options. So you can go up in here and there's all these different ways of looking at the way that you want to control the game. Where's it at? Is it in edge panning right here in the general gameplay options? Down here you have lock mouse to window, which I highly recommend doing, because many of you, especially if you're going to be streaming like I am, you're going to be playing this in windowed mode. You want to make sure you lock the mouse to the window. That way you don't, because what you'll run into is if you're trying to use mouse edge panning and you have this button unchecked, when you get to the right hand side, whatever side your second monitor is on, which in my case it's move the mouse to the right to get to the second monitor, it won't pan the camera to the right, because it's going to be like, oh, it's trying to go to the next monitor. So if you lock it to this window, then it will edge pan when you hit the edge of the window, and then make sure you turn edge panning on for the mouse. And here, down in here, you can get into these panning speed options, which allow you to adjust where you want that. I've got that set just below half. It works fairly well for me. And that essentially, if we go back into the game at this point, you'll notice that if I move the mouse to the left, it pans to the left. Move the mouse to the right, it pans to the right. Move it up, it moves it forward. Move it down, and it moves it back. Now, I can also do that with WASD with the left hand, so I can go W is forward, S is back, A is left, D is right. And when you combine this with the holding down of the right mouse button, you can get this bird's eye approach to the battlefield, where you can come in here and you can sort of pan around as you move the camera in and out and up, around as you see fit. And then of course you can still use the middle mouse scroll button to go in or out. And you can get a fairly big field of view by scrolling all the way out, or you can come all the way in. Now right now we're in free form mode, which means the camera goes anywhere. And then if we want to lock in on a single character, we can say hit F1 for my ranger, and now it's centered on him, but we're so far out you can't tell. But if I were to scroll in, it's going to scroll in on the back of him. And now so I'll go turn it around, because right now we're centered on that character. Now if I want to change the center, I just hit the F button related to that character. So F2 being Shadowheart, double click it. Now we're over to her. Want to go to Gale? Double click F3.
No rest for the wicked.
Want to go to Lae'zel? Double click F4.
Not reaction.
And the camera is now locked to that person as we pan the camera around. Then as soon as you want to go hands-free, you just screen pan or go to your WSD and you can pan away from that character like so. Now, we've talked about this in other videos, but I do want to approach it here as well, because sometimes when you're dealing with this camera right here, the the default camera, it can sometimes get locked behind things and it won't let you show buildings properly. Now, in other cases, when you have a big wide open area like this, you can pan out far enough to get sort of that isometric look and feel that you would have gotten so many years ago from Baldur's Gate 1 and 2. But sometimes the camera does wonky things, and you want to be able to get, like, you want to see up on top of a rooftop as an example. You can hit the O button, and then it brings you into a completely top-down isometric view, which you can then pan in and out of and give you a completely bird's eye view of the battlefield, because it literally is locked to this horizontal plane that you can. What's up, everybody? Quick commercial break here to give it a shout out to our guild champions, who are the highest tier memberships here on YouTube: Ancient Entity, Assassin Gamer 94, Bubbleonia Rising, Crazy's Relative, Mujin, and Remedy. Thanks so much for the highest tier membership, and thanks to all of the members who support the channel, because you keep me doing this full time. You too can become a supporter if you're new here. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you never miss an update. Join as a member. There's 3 different tiers. We do lots of special stuff: private polls, private videos. You get a shout out if you're the highest tier membership, but you can also do one-off donations in the form of super chats on any live stream or premiere you see, and of course super thanks on any upload or YouTube short. Whatever you can contribute, it's great. Keeps me on the air full time, keeps the cats fed, keeps the homestead running. Anyway, back to the video, everybody. That you can move around within your field of view and go from there. And of course, once again, if you want to center on a character, you need to double click who that character is, that being my ranger, this being Shadowheart, this being Gale, this being Lae'zel, right? So those are some quick and easy tips for camera manipulation, so that when you're running around, you can more quickly and easily get around the battlefield. Now, there's also this to consider, because like if you're going to notice that you can only move the camera so far forward in any direction, and then it just stops. Like, we've literally stopped right here. It's not wanting to go any further, and that's because we've reached the field of view limit for the characters. So I could click here, and I'll get a round reticle up there, and if you look on the mini-map in the top right, you're going to see my characters moving in that direction. And if we want to keep the bird's eye view, we can keep the camera right here where it's stationary, and we will watch them come into frame at the bottom of the screen and then work their way across the top. This is one way to do this. Now let's pan the camera around, and let's do it in the opposite direction and say that this time I want to watch overview.
A technique known to few outside Kalir.
Watch them go through.
Shall I teach you?
But what if I want to follow them?
I'll pass.
Well,
Thank you.
let's go ahead and
duration over acrobatics.
do something like this. We're going to double click over here, go into tactical view, double click my character, and now we are following in overhead view of that character to the waypoint that I have clicked. Similarly, when you go back into the regular mode, I can click off in the distance.
Find a way forward.
And as long as I've double clicked on a character, it will follow him along the path that we have chosen for them to walk. So there's a lot of different ways you can pan the camera around and get field of view and point of view differences in your game. So play around with these as you see fit, remap the buttons as you see fit. You can go in there and change all of them. I'm using the default other than the pan button. I've changed this to my right click on the mouse pad, but you can do this however you want and however you see fit, whatever works best for you. And then once we get into the live game and we're dealing with controller support on the PC, I will be doing an updated guide on the full controls, intermixing controller support and mouse and keyboard when the game is live. So hopefully we'll see you in that future video as well. In the meantime, if you like this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you never miss an update or a live stream or any of the other things we do on this channel beyond Baldur's Gate 3. Join the Discord, links are down below. Support any way you can with super chats, super thanks, and memberships. See you in the next video, everybody. Cheers.